Hello. This is future Azai once again. This is going to be the third and last part of the long play that I did. And my god, like I said, I got too invested into the game. I still can't believe this is not the end of chapter 3, by the way. There's still so much to cover. It's insane. The reason why I kept playing was because I thought, nah, there can't be that much more, right? But oh no, I was wrong. There's a lot more. There's a lot more. But yeah, enjoy the episode. I'm just gonna disappear now. Later. Hope you guys enjoy it. I turned on the generator and sat in front of my computer. The message board I administrate. The message board where all the school secrets are written. Megu and Satoko's friendship thread. Couldn't we get in trouble for that? It seemed like she was broken. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna skip this because we already read this before. Anyone could figure out what they were talking about now. Takashima-san had died. She jumped off an apartment building. No. The truth is that she was murdered. These two bullied and murdered Takashima Zakuro. They bullied her, tortured her, and murdered her. Bullied her to death. That's plenty of reason for the police to arrest them. I don't know what they would be charged with though. Extortion? Assault? Anything would work. This is all the evidence they would need. It's not like I want to be the hero and get revenge for Takashima-san. I indifferently looked into their relationship. Takashima Zakuro, Akasaka Megu, and Kitami Satoko. I looked at the past posts. Anyway, I made this thread. Sure did. Are you sure no one else can see this board? Apparently. They started this thread about a year ago. They'd written these thoughtless sentences because they didn't feel human pain. They described their fun lifestyle here in this thread. They eased their pain by inflicting it on others. They bleached their days white with pain and turned them into something wonderful. The pain of others bleaches their own pain, turning it into something new. They knew that instinctively.
今日は天気が良かったからさ、屋上に登ってみたんだけどさ。そんで気がついたんだけどさ、シートの屋上って一応登れるんだね。
ダメダメ。あそこさ、美術室の用具室からじゃないといけないんだよ。
ってことは？
だからさ、入れないんだって。
いや違くてさ。ってことは誰も入ってこないってことだよね。
まあ当然そうなるね。
美術部入ろうぜ。
はあ？何言ってるの？だいたい美術部って今ないじゃん。廃部してるでしょ？
だからいいんだよ。
それって屋上を使うため？へ
へ。
シートの屋上を使うためだけにそんなことすんのかよ。
いや、私ってすんげえクリエイティブなんだよ。こう見えてもすんげえ芸術派だっつうかさ。
あんたの美術の成績2位じゃん。
そりゃ私の芸術性が教師にはわからないからだよ。まあそんなことどうでもいいや。作ろうぜ。
あれか、彼氏と。
行く。
図星かよ。
そういうのもあるかもね。
ホテル代がねえとか言ってたけど、あんな場所でやんのかよ。
いや、そうじゃなくてさ、二人っきりでゆっくり会える場所？
So I guess the right one is Megu, huh? And the boyfriend is Shiroyama.
みたいなじゃねえよ。
美術部の顧問って誰？
さあ、美術の先生じゃねえの？もうない部活だから顧問とかもいないだろ。
なるほど。
仕方ないわね。正直嫌なんだけど。
まあまあ、そう言わないでさ、瀬名川先生。
美術の小林先生が来年で定年なんで、今年はもう顧問できないんだってさ。だからさ、瀬名川先生しかいないんだよ。
はいはい、そう小林先生から聞いてます。だから私に来年までのつなぎということで顧問を受けてほしいとも。
そうそう、どうせ来年になったら新しい美術の先生来るんだからさ。
そういう問題ではないんだけど、でも小林先生の頼みだし。
そういえば小林先生って瀬名川先生の恩師なんだっけ？
そうよ。まったく私は美術なんて全然なのに。
まあいいじゃん。私も美術全然ダメだよ。
顧問といっても大したことはしないわよ。というか自分たちで全てやりなさいよ。基本私はノータッチだからね。
それはもう。
むしろその方が。
余計なこと言うなバカ。
それより部員はちゃんと4人いるの？
あ、それはもうすぐにでも集めますよ。
まだ集めてないの？
ああ、でも目星はついてますから大丈夫ですよ。
まあいいです。あまり問題を起こさないようにしなさいよ。
はい、大丈夫です。
A fine arts club formed just to use the rooftop. It existed only so they would have a place for themselves, where no one else would come. These two found that place.
でも私は陸上部と科学部の掛け持ちだし。
So this is where she takes part, huh?
いいじゃん。名前貸してくれるだけでいいんだよ。部活出なくてもいいからさ。
何？立花。断る気なの？あのさ、部員って何人必要なの？
ああ、4人だけど、なんでだよ。
なら最後の一人はザクロということなんだ。よくわかるな。その通り。どうせザクロ断れないんだろうな。ザクロが入るなら入るよ。
ああ、お前に拒否権とかあると思ってんのかよ。
そうだね。なんか立花、最近勘違いしてるかもね。今はさ、高島にいじめが集中してるけどさ、もともとはあんたが原因なんだからさ。そうだね。だからザクロには感謝してるよ。
性格ねじ曲がってるな。
Yeah, what a fucked up way of thought.
ザクロのおかげで私がいじめられなくなったってことでしょ。その認識のどこがおかしいの？ああ、いいから。とりあえず高島が入ったら入れよ。うん。ザクロが断ったら入らないよ。
ああ、そんなことあったらお前死ぬよ。
Takashima-san really didn't want to join that hellish club. They only wanted to secure that space so they could bully people away from watchful eyes. How awful. But she couldn't make any other choice. She had no free will. This was the point when the bullying grew most severe. There was no way she could refuse. Their hidden lair was atop Building C. Other students wouldn't come there, and even the teacher's attention wouldn't fall on that deserted island. Every day after school, Takashima-san was locked up there and tormented. Torment that they called a game. The repeated whitewashing of their relationship, a ritual that they called playing. That was awesome. Takashima's face was great. Yeah, her face was fucking great. I guess putting wasabi on someone's face really does hurt. What was up with that doll she had? Yeah, she had some black doll, didn't she? I think Kimika gave that to her. Seriously? That endlessly repeating game. Neither killing her outright nor letting her live. Just like a child playing with a bug. But that ended. Completely out of the blue. Neither killing her outright nor letting her live. As that game continued, they stopped holding back. At first, they were careful not to kill her. Carefully, carefully. They didn't want to kill her. But they grew accustomed to their role as tormentors over time. As they grew accustomed to it, they started to make mistakes. In one moment, it all ended. A child's game. The game was ended by the death of their toy. It ended when they broke their toy. And thus, their fun game came to an end.
おーい、高島。
赤坂さん。
屋上行こうぜ。
ちげえだろ。部活だよ。
あ、そうか、そうだね。うん、部活行こうぜ。ほら、立花もさ。
え、今日は陸上部があるから。いいんだよ。今日だけはちゃんと来いよ。ザクロ来る？
Man, this music is really giving me some bad vibes, you know? Like, even my thoughts are really, really dark right now.
そればっかだな。お前、高島好きだな。何？そんなにいじめるの楽しいの？
高島は当然呼ぶ。つうか、今日のメインキャストはお前と高島ね。
そうなんだ。
さて、今日はどんな部活しますかね。
めちゃくちゃだな。美術部だろうが。
まあいいじゃん。今日は楽しいぜ。さあ、部活に行こうぜ。
あら。
あ、
あんまり問題起こさないでよ。
わかってますって。
まあいいわ。何？何？どうしたの？問題本当に起こさないでよ。何度も言うけど、美術部の顧問は次の先生が入るまでのつなぎだからね。
はーい。
おい、立花。
Sloth.
何？お前、今背中に何か言おうとしたら。あんま不審なことすんなよ。死ぬよ。
君か。
Takashima Zakuro tried to reach out to Kimika, but Kimika coldly slapped her hand away.
君か。
Kimika laughed.
優しいね。でも自分のこと心配してから他人心配してくんないかな。正直あんたなんかに同情されるの腹が立つ。君か。
The fuck is wrong with her?
いやー、天気いいね。
そろそろ秋だし涼しいね。冬とか寒すぎるからここで遊ぶとかあんまりなくなるんじゃないかな。
Holy shit, I almost recorded 4 hours of footage. I definitely have to cut this episode. Jesus Christ.
あ？まあそうかな。よくわかんないけど。だから目いっぱい遊ぶんだよ。
はあ、何して遊ぶ？
うん。あのさ。
Megu pointed toward Takashima's skirt pocket.
前から気になってたんだけどさ、その人形って何？
あ、それ。
A strangely shaped black stuffed doll was hanging out of Takashima's pocket. It looked like it was hanging from a cell phone strap. The doll was a bit too big to fit in her pocket.
それすんげえ昔に流行ったもんじゃね？
なにそれ。その平べったいのってパンダじゃなかったっけ？
真っ黒いのはさ、立花がマジックで塗りつぶしたんだよ。ひどいことするね。
うん。私が塗りつぶした。やったのは私だよね。私がやったよね、ザクロ。それ。でもさ、そういえば同じもん立花も持ってたよな。 そういえば思い出した。同じもんぶら下げてたよ。
ちょうど立花がクラス中から無視されてた時期だよ。
Man, this scene is pissing me off. Bullying, whether it's boys or girls that are doing it, it pisses me off.
ああ、そうか。そうだよね。
あの時期なぜか2人で同じもんぶら下げてたんだよ。この意味がわかる？さとこ。
なんで？
高島はバカだからこいつを元気づけようとしてお揃いのパンダの人形を買ってやったんだよ。
というか互いにプレゼントし合ったんだよ。とは言っても私は速攻捨てたんだけどね、ザクロ。なんでそんなこと言うの？
Zakuro is not exactly smart too. Oh my god.
立花はさ、自分がいじめられなくなったらすぐにぬいぐるみ捨てたのにさ、高島はずっと持ってるんだよ。
Oh my god, this is pissing me off.
バカだよね。
そんなことないよ。ザクロはバカじゃなくて優しいバカなんだよ。
同じじゃねえかよ。いちいち反応すんなよ、うぜえな。立花こいついまだに空気の読めなさピカイチだな。
そうだね。ザクロが私の代わりにいじめられてくれるまでずっといじめられてたぐらいだからね。私は空気読めないよ。
相変わらずうぜえな、立花。つうかなんで高島はこんなやつと仲良くしようとしたの？だいたいそのぬいぐるみってさ、裏切りの象徴みたいなもんじゃん。立花に塗られてパンダなんだかわからなくなった人形なんてなんで持ってるの？
でもね、これで真っ黒で可愛いから。真っ黒で可愛いんだそれ。ザクロは何でもかんでも優しいね。
ほらこれだ。実際ね、私はそんなに高島のこと嫌いじゃないんだよ。空気は読めないけどまあ優しいしね。でもさ、裏切った人間を信じ続けるってどうよ。それって単なる依存じゃね？
依存とか難しいこと言うね。
まあね。
そういうのじゃなくて、ただ気に入ってるだけだから。このぬいぐるみがほら黒くて可愛いし。
はあ、けなげですな。
けなげだね。優しいんだね。うん、ザクロは優しい。
それに引き換え立花はさ、高島にいじめの矛先が変わったらどっちかというと特攻隊長みたいにいじめてるじゃん。
そうかも。私はそういう人間だもん。だよね、ザクロ。そんな。キミカそんなことないじゃない。キミカはだって私は違う。それはザクロの妄想でしょ。私はあなたの味方なんかじゃない。私は最悪人間で裏切り行為が大の得意。でもキミカ。
Zakuro, oh my god. You're not making this any better. Please, shut up.
ゲームやろうぜ。
は？
ゲーム？
そう、ルールは簡単。
ダメ。
Akasaka Megu forcefully yanked the protruding doll out of Takashima's pocket. It was old and worn, so it broke off from the phone easily.
返して。
ほら、サトコパス。
うわっ、こんな汚ねえ人形なんていらねえよ。ほら。
キミカ、返して。それパス。
ほらほら、早くしないとこの人形の速度はどんどん速くなりますよ。ほら。
はい。
はい。ダメ。 人形返して。
なんでだよ。なんでこんな人形が大切なんだよ。
だってさ、立花は持ってないんだぜ。
でもこれは君から買ってくれたものだから。なんであなたがそうやって。君が。
When Tachibana chucked the doll, it flew over the fence. Even Tachibana Kimiko herself was too surprised to move. The two of them grew pale as well. Takashima tried to go after it. She climbed the fence and then... a sound cut through the air. Immediately after... a sound of impact.
高島。バカ。
さくら。
Takashima-san fell from a 4-story building, but luckily she only hit the eaves of the third story before landing on the roof of the neighboring gymnasium. It wasn't a very long fall, so she didn't suffer any major injuries. Though maybe it's not accurate to say she was lucky. This is what I can gather from what they posted in their thread. It seems reliable since it was written by people who were there, the bullies themselves. The details were probably exaggerated, but most of it was probably accurate.
なるほど。こんなことがあったのか。
I see.
なんか事故があったという噂は聞いたことがあったけど。
It seems like school tried to cover up the incident. It was the school that said it was just an accident. They were actually talking about it in the other threads on the message board. Several students who were playing on the building C rooftop fell and hurt themselves. The fence is especially low, so they closed the rooftop like after that. There were actually places where the building C rooftop had no fences at all, though that changed after the incident. But was that the reason? Akasaka and Kitami claimed it was just an accident that happened while they were playing up there. Takashima Zakuro herself didn't deny it. At that time, lots of teachers decided that it must have been an accident, especially after the Fine Arts Club advisor's testimony.
ほとんど部活に関わらないようにして、現場で何があったのかなんて知らなかったくせに。背中のやつめ。
Since they couldn't use the rooftop after that, the Fine Arts Club was disbanded. The bullying directed toward Takashima-san was reduced. Naturally, no one wanted to be seen bullying her in public after that happened. But still, Senagawa's attitude... She probably knew about the bullying when they tried to make the Fine Arts Club. Apparently, she told them repeatedly, "Don't cause any problems, and I'm a hands-off teacher." The cause of Takashima-san's death wasn't just Akasaka Megu, Kitami Satoko, and Tachibana Kimiko. Senagawa was responsible as well. An accident during club activities. The 4 people who caused it weren't blamed at all. Takashima-san got out of the hospital after a few days, and that was the end of it. But apparently, Takashima-san had kept looking for her lost doll. A panda doll, painted black. She'd kept searching for it.
高島さんは黒い人形を探していたのか。
Yeah, back when we first met, I guess. At the pool. I looked away from my computer and checked her cell phone. It would have been attached to the phone in place of a strap, so it couldn't have been all that big. Now the phone only has a few thin straps attached to it.
なんだこれ。
I thought the black strings were just frayed cell phone strap, but...
これってどう見ても。
Air. I didn't notice it before, but the phone kind of smelled, and it smelled like a butchery, or rather, a slaughterhouse.
これって。
I pulled on the strap, and it changed into something completely unlike a cell phone strap. I pulled it out, and it was a lock of hair. No, it wasn't. Just a lock of hair. A lock of hair growing out of a fragment of her skull. Slowly.
これが匂いの原因か。
A piece of a human's dead body. It should be. Scary enough to make a person jump in fear when they see it. And And yet,
高島さんもこんなになっちゃったんだね。
I'm completely calm. Completely calm. Completely calm.
かわいそうに言いたかったかい？
Of course you're not calm, you idiot. Look how calm I am. My voice isn't shaking at all. I'm not getting emotional at all. Just analytical. Words. Just like an onlooker.
安心して僕がそばにいるから。
I calmly spoke to that piece of Takashima-san. Normal people would be so scared and emotional that they couldn't even talk. And yet, completely calm, very calm, totally calm, absolutely calm, diving calm, ridiculously calm, rather calm, kind of calm, frightened calm, clearly calm, kind of calm, rather calm, happy and calm, just calm, very calm, precisely calm, peachy calm, quite calm, suicide calm, lonely calm, Buddha calm, analog calm, Yunfo calm, Antarctic calm, raw calm, calm, samurai calm. They obviously wanted me to say Antarctic clam there. Oh my god, raw clam. Super calm, calm as ever, calm all day, always calm, running calm, sitting calm as can be. Everything's calm, calm all my life, getting calmer, already calm, calmer than I thought possible, even calmer, calm at heart, utterly calm, Superman calm at last, suddenly calm, almost as if I'm calm, almost as if I'm calm, almost as if I'm calm. Am I not calm? After all, I am a piece of God. Because my existence is beyond human. Because I've surpassed humanity. Yes, thanks to the Archangel Riruru, I've begun to climb the stairway that leads beyond humanity. I am the person who ascends the stairs to God. I am the person within the omen. I am the person who ascends to divinity. I am the person walking toward that omen. I am the person walking toward July 20th. I am the person who will return it to the sky. Yes, my mother said that. Yes, Riruru said that. I will return. The people and the world. To the place where Takashima-san and the place where my mother have already returned. To the end sky. Yes, that is the end sky. That will come to fruition and bring it all to an end. That is not death. Neither is it life. It is neither heaven nor hell. It will just come to fruition and then bring it all to an end.
そうなんだ。そうなんだよ。僕は人じゃない。人を超えた存在なんだ。母親がそうであったように、僕も人を超えた存在。人はそれを救世主と呼ぶ。世界を救うものと呼ぶ。だから。
I wasn't swayed when I saw a fragment of Takashima-san's skull. Rather, I felt pity.
高島さん、痛かったんだろうね。
The day before, Takashima-san's ghost had come to visit me. She kept saying, it hurts, over and over. It must have been painful. It must have been extremely painful. That's why she came to me. And yet, I was still immature, so I ran from her. I ran from her, even when she came to me looking for relief from her pain.
ごめんね。また会いに来てね。今度はちゃんと君を抱きしめてあげるから。
No matter how she looks, I'll embrace her. Because she is my lover. We shared our secrets. And we were fated to be married. Even our entry into the same school was decided so that we could be together in the future. It was all decided ahead of time. This guy's crazy, but my hatred towards the bullies are even bigger than my thoughts about how crazy Mamiya Takuji is, so it's actually overshadowed. My god, they really make the bullies really, like, you know, I really hate them. Jesus Christ. She loved me. I don't really remember it, but I'm sure she loved me. She always loved me. Now I can understand that, so it's fine. I can meet her anytime. Just look. If I just played a video on my computer, she will appear before me. Her two-dimensional form. She's so cute.
見えないよ見えないよ大いなる災いなんてちゃんと見なさいいやリルルいいリルルちゃん怯えは形のない怪物なの心を惑わして悪い結果を呼び込むのここでもしひるんだら世界は破滅してしまうわいいのリルルちゃんいい何世界なんて滅んじゃってもいい私は死にたくないリルルちゃんだけ死ねばいいじゃない
This is probably Usami. Usami probably actually didn't want to kill herself or something. Oh wow, I wasn't clicking anything. I'm not clicking anything. It's actually an auto. Holy shit. Look, I can see her anytime I want. On my computer. I can see her anytime I want.
ある意味では万能な時代だね。死んだ人と会話がパソコンを通してできるんだからね。
That's true, Takuji. Well, it's not like just anyone could do that.
まあ、いいや。それより。
After I removed a piece of flesh from the cell phone, I started investigating the information on it. I wasn't used to this phone, but as the savior, I could easily make use of any device. While looking through the past threads on the message board, I opened up Takashima-san's sent messages.
どんなことを彼女は誰に話していたのだろう。
I looked at her sent items.
これは
Suspicious. It was definitely suspicious. Because that message was... Through death, I have been reborn as a warrior, or so they said, but it hurts. I have no body, but it still hurts. It hurts because I've been broken. Therefore, everyone must die. You will die in 8 days. All of you will die.
なんだこれ
I stayed calm and soon realized what was suspicious.
なんだこの送信時間
This is strange. Takashima-san committed suicide on the evening of July 12th. This message was sent at 10:44 p.m. This message was definitely sent after her death.
つまりどういうこと
Oh man, it's giving me goosebumps, that's for sure. I sat calm and quickly figured it out. That means Takashima-san has been sending these messages after her death.
なるほど
What?
それで高島さんは夕べ僕
Oh
の
my
ところ
god,
に
this
来たの
guy's
か
crazy! An analytical mind. A normal human would never notice this.
このメールを送信したかったのか
Oh my
それでわざわざ僕のところに誤って僕が君の携帯電話を持ってきてし
Oh
まった
my
から、ね、
god, this guy.
ごめんねあれ
I was a little shocked when I saw who she was sending it to.
なんだこれ送信先の数
The recipients were still in the history. It was simultaneously sent to 158 people. What is this? This number is...
人が悪いな高島さんは
The number of people she sent the message to was the exact same as the number of people registered in the underground message board. Which means, Takashima-san looked at the register on my computer and used that to send a message to all these people. Oh, that's what happened when she was there alone. Wow. Wow, I see.
参ったなこういうのはプライバシーの侵害だよ
He got you, Takuji. He got you. Though she is a ghost, I guess she doesn't care about anyone's privacy.
でも僕はただの人間じゃないんだからさもうこういうことしちゃダメだよ
I'm the savior. Even if she is a ghost, I can't let her do something like that to me.
今度会ったらきつく言っておこうかなやりたいことがあるなら僕に相談してくれればやっておくからってさとりあえずこのメールを今も一斉送信しておくかな
I send the same message to all the same addresses simultaneously. 6 days. I changed it to say 6 days instead of 8. It's important for the savior to pay attention to detail.
それよりも赤坂と北見それと立花
Tachibana, huh? In a way, Tachibana is the guiltiest of them all, but you could also say she's a victim. Only those who have been bullied themselves can understand. But it can get bad enough to make someone else sell out their own friends in order to escape.
立花を追い詰めるかどうかは高島さんに聞いてからでもいいかな。それよりも
The one who definitely can't be forgiven.
砂川だ。彼女は教師であり、高島さんを救わなければならない立場なのに。
I have to give these three a different punishment from the rest. A punishment called fear. That's what I will give them. Luckily, I have all of their email addresses. They're all registered in the underground message board.
さてと、どういう文章を送るかな。とは言っても考えすぎは良くない。素朴な方が恐怖感は演出できる。そうだな。
I gave it a few minutes thought. Probably just a few minutes. I don't know how long I spent thinking of it, but anyway, this is what I sent to those three. Simple enough. That's what I sent them. But just sending it would be boring. I set up my computer to automatically send the same message every hour. My computer would use Takashima-san's email address to send them that scary message once an hour.
さすがにこんな文章が1時間ごとに送られたら参るよね。
This is the first game. The game those dumb bitches played with Takashima-san. It's the same game, but better.
さあ、楽しんでおくれよ。次は、君たちがもてあそばれる番だよ。
After that, I looked at the message board. I guess her death and the ensuing messages from her had quite the impact, since the message board was full of posts about it. Now that I think of it...
城山も死んでたのか。しかも屋上から転落。
Yeah, why did that happen? I hadn't noticed at all. The date was July 10th.
なあ、そうか。そういえばあいつら屋上で薬をやってたな。
They were talking about whether they were gonna do LSD or some hallucinogen like that.
薬でおかしくなって飛び降りたのかな。
Maybe. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter all that much now.
でも。
It's probably just a coincidence, but Shiroyama and Takashima-san both died. To the ignorant masses, it must have looked like the deaths were related. Coupled with the messages from Takashima, it seemed even more ominous to the people on the message board. As I read more, I realized something.
あれ？そういえば忘れてたな。高島さんもこの裏掲示板に登録してたな。
After registering, she never posted until just before her death. I guess that's hardly surprising considering her personality. And yet... Yeah, big hazard. I'm gonna skip this since we already read this before. She suddenly started a thread on July 11th. The date was the day before she committed suicide. After that, she'd posted several more times. That thread was full of trolls up until the day of her suicide. Was it all a coincidence? Shiroyama's death, Takashima-san's thread, Takashima-san's suicide, and then the messages from Takashima-san. They're all pointing in the same direction. That direction is toward July 20th. My mother believed. Takashima-san believed. The world's last day.
そういえば。
There was a reason my mother started to believe that prediction. At the time, my mother had joined a new wave religion. The religion's founder said that the world would be destroyed on July 20, 2012. Apparently, there are lots of people in Mexico, India, and other places in the world that believe that. Mexico's prophecy in the Piedra del Sol, the prophecy of India's high priest, the year we will supposedly crash into the photon belt. By the way, the photon belt is just what makes it what it sounds like. It's a field of energy made up of photons that's thought to be in our galaxy. Our solar system rotates around Alcyone. Alcyone? I think. The largest star in the Pleiades star cluster, once every 26,000 years. Supposedly, every 11,000 years, there's a 2,000-year period where the Earth passes through the photon belt. Because of the strong magnetic fields in the photon belt, many great disasters happen on Earth, and the genes of many organisms undergo a large change. During these 2,000 years, the entire world changes. The changes would mean the extinction of the human race and the appearance of a new form of humanity. The beginning of that 2,000-year period is supposed to be July 20th, 2012. That's not the only prophecy for 2012. There's a more important prediction, or rather, a calculation. That is, the Webbot project. My mother believed in it. When I was a child, she told me over and over that the collective human unconscious could show us the world's ultimate fate. She often described it as the sky being full of anxious words.
母親はウェブボットプロジェクトを信じ、そしてあの予言を信じていた。
The Webbot project is a program that reads the unconscious thoughts of the people on the internet. Why would people's unconscious thoughts be important? There's a famous concept underlying this program. Carl Gustav Jung pioneered analytical psychology. He saw a strange commonality between the mental images all his patients held. It also matched up with the legends and myths from all different parts of the world. The conclusion he came to was, there exists a collective unconscious that unites all of humanity. Humanity shares the same unconscious. His theory led to several other supernatural theories. For instance, synchronicity. The coincidence of multiple related events occurring simultaneously in the world. Normally, someone would assume that the events occurring simultaneously are just a coincidence. But are they? To give an example, for instance, how do we know that causality is a result of the external forces that we can see, not something beyond explanation hidden within the objects? If humanity has a collective unconscious, it must be shared in some form. What if all of humanity is actually acting as one organism? Humanity is a group of individuals and one whole. One whole and yet a group of individuals. Both part and whole. Whole and part. Just like the individual living cells of a human being create a larger organism. Just like a single pawn obeys the rules of the entire game of chess, and the entire game of chess obeys the rules of a single pawn. An individual is the entirety, and the entirety is an individual. On an unconscious level, humanity is a single organism. Therefore, if one could understand the collective unconscious of the people on the internet, it would be able to understand the will of humanity as a whole. No, it would know the will of God himself. Some people believe that. That is the Webbot project. The Webbot project predicted that the world would be destroyed on July 20th, 2012. The big hazard that Takashima-san spoke of. The Webbot project also made one other important prediction. In 2012, the savior will appear. It actually wasn't just the Webbot project that made this prediction. One of the Indian farseers predicted the same thing. But they say he will appear from the sky. Who is the savior? There are still arguments about it. My mother knew it long before my birth, since she was a prophet. She knew that her son would save the world. That's why she always punished me so severely. Not as a mother, but as the person who had given birth to the savior. Those memories are full of nothing but pain. That's why I used to hate my mother. But now I understand. Now I can say it with confidence. My mother truly loved me. She probably wanted to love me as a human mother. She probably wanted to embrace me. And yet, actually, the day the world will return to the sky, she was kind when she was telling me about that day. Any other time, she put me through hell. My earliest memories from the moment I was born are of pain. The bullying I received at school was actually one of the trials my mother set before me. What? She programmed my life so that others would torment me even after her death. The reason she could do that was because she was a prophet. She knew everything. That's the only explanation. You gotta be fucking kidding me, you retard. I know I haven't been saying anything for the past few, like, minutes and stuff, but I gotta say, that is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. My analytical mind has revealed her plans. I do like that he keeps saying my analytical mind. This is so stupid, yet it's so entertaining. Jesus, I've been recording for 4 hours, 20 minutes. Jesus Christ. I don't even know how to like separate these videos. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I might even make 3 videos at this point. Holy shit. I have to solve this grand, inscrutable puzzle in order to save the world. I put the pieces together one by one. The will of the world. I understood my mother's will. I am the savior. I've attained unfathomable knowledge and wisdom. My mother could see the past and the future of this world. She created this program that stretches from the past into the future. Now I can see the whole picture. That's not all. I can feel the pain she must have gone through, being forced to live as a prophet rather than a mother. It must have been difficult. It must have been sad. She must have wanted to live a normal life with me. But she chose. She chose to be a prophet. She chose to save the world, rather than be a mother. Maybe it was my mother's will that killed my lover as well. Maybe Takashima-san was killed by my mother's program. She was powerful enough to make it happen. Now I understand. Now that I've gained my powers as the savior, I understand that my mother was almost omnipotent. I was born to save the world. I was born from that almighty existence. What does that mean? That's right. She was obsessed with the Webbot project. She knew the importance of the collective unconscious. Jung called the harmonization of conscious thoughts and actions individuation. That's not a metaphor. It means that humanity's unconscious is a single organism. And what is that single organism? That is what the Savior's mother was. Humanity needs a savior. Therefore, humanity gave birth to a savior on this earth. So just, what is the single unconscious that humanity has? What is the collective unconscious? That was none other than my mother. She was able to give birth to me because she was the embodiment of the human unconscious itself. This guy is insane, dude. But it's so insane that I actually like it. He believes in what he's saying so much that I can't even hate this guy. She gave birth to the savior who would save humanity. At first, the Webbot project didn't work properly. It wasn't just effective, it wouldn't start at all. Then one day, it started working all on its own. And it was perfectly accurate. Since the time the Webbot project started working, I've never forgotten to check it. Every time a major event has happened, I've checked the predictions and it's always there. I overlooked most predictions because there were so many, but every time I checked after a major event, it was always on the list. Why did the Webbot project start working after my mother's death? At first, I didn't understand it, but now I do. My mother died to prepare for the world's death, because my mother was the will of the world itself. I cried when I realized it. My mother's love, humanity's wonder. I couldn't stop my overflowing tears. I cried as I declared that God made the world in 6 days, and then he rested of the final day. What can the Savior do in 6 days? The day that the world will return to the sky is not the day that the world will be destroyed. Someone must return the world to the sky before it is destroyed. That is the day when the world will return to the sky. So that's why on the last chapter, the chapter ended on July 19th and not the 20th. I did wonder why it ended on the 19th and not the 20th. But is that possible? A single person returning the world to the sky? The answer is...
救世主とは真理を知る者、人類の歴史のみならず生物そのもの、地球そのものの知識を持つ者。実際僕は昨べディルルちゃんの導きにより生命そのものの無意識を経験した。
それは何十億、何百億という長い旅であった。すべての知性と知恵、すべての技術と経験、それを有する者こそが救世主。僕は確実に真理を捕まえたのだ。その真理を持つ僕にとって1週間は何十億、何百億、何千億、何兆年にも等しい。そう、僕が掴んだ真理の前にはどんな不可能も必然的可能でしかない。その真理とは
Wait. That truth is... What's the truth? God fucking did... My clear analytical thoughts were suddenly interrupted. My clarity suddenly disappeared. The fuck?
なんだ。
I should have all knowledge. I should have all wisdom. I should have all experience. And yet...
なんてことだ。
I can't remember the millions of years I experienced last night.
なぜだ。くそ。
I calmly analyzed it. The human brain only has a capacity of 1350 to 1500 cc. They say that the human brain can have up to 1 trillion neurons. That number doesn't change very much until old age. I can assume that, as the savior, my brain should have several hundred times as many neurons. But still, it's not enough to remember all of the memories and experiences from several billion years of life.
だとするならば、救世主といえども人間である以上は、やはり物理的な制約があると考えるべきか。ならば、なぜ夕べを見ることができた？なぜ僕は全生命の無意識を見ることができた？時間にして数秒。その数秒で僕は数億、数十億、数百億、数千億の生命が数億、数十億の時間を得て、全生命が得た記憶と経験を処理した。それはなぜだ？
A normal person could never understand the logic and genius of my thoughts. My genius pursued an as of yet hidden truth.
つまりそれは外部処理を必要とするということ。外部の情報処理システム。演算ではなくニューラルネットワークに似たもの。いや、脳機能そのものと言ってもいい。それか。そうか。彼女がレセプターの役割をしたんだ。
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
救世主である僕と全人類、いや全生命の記憶との接続の。だから僕はあの時神に匹敵する力を持った。なるほど。
I've started to understand what it means to be the savior. The savior isn't God. I'm still closer to being human. No, my body structure actually is nothing more than human. So I can't escape the basic limitations of humanity. But the savior isn't human. Why is that? Yes, through the angels, he becomes a god. It is with the aid of an angel that his savior is able to become a god. So, when I'm with Riruru-chan, I became a living god. She is the connection between me and God.
そういうことだ。
This is so crazy. And yet, he doesn't even begin to question his own self. And that's why I kind of like this in a way, as I said before. Holy shit.
そういうことなのだ。
I've solved all the riddles. I found all the answers. What the Savior must do. What the child of God must do. What the Savior can do. What the Savior can't do. What God can do. What God can't do. It has all been revealed.
神ができないことこそ僕がやるべきこと。神ができず僕にできること。そう、人であるからこそできることがある。まず属性に降りよう。属性の中に入らなければならない。そして人の世で汚れなければならない。神は人の世で汚れることがない。つまり神は人と交わることができない。汚れることができる者こそが初めて人の中に入ることができる。完全な聖なる存在は 俗悪な人々の中に入ることができない。それはちょうど太陽が人々の中に入れないのと同じこと。そのあまりの神聖さは汚れた人々を焼き尽くしてしまうであろう。だからこそ僕がやらねばならない。汚れることができる者こそが救世主たり得る。だからまず人の中に入り、あえて汚れなければならない。さあ汚れよう。人々の中で自らを汚そう。俗世に神ができぬ大事を行おう。
だからじゃない。
What an insane person.
でもさ、そういうのって噂でしょ。だいたいそういうのってさ。
うん、そういうのって昔から何度も言われてるんでしょ。
予言だっけ。なんかそういうやつだよね。
大昔流行ったって話をお父さんから聞いたよ。なんかノストラダムスの予言だとか。
だからこれは予言じゃないんだって。
予言じゃないのになんで未来なんかわかるの。
私も難しいことはわからないんだけどね。なんか科学的なことなんだってさ。ウェブロボットとかいう。
それってウェブボットプロジェクトだろ。
それだよ。よく知ってるね。
何その
Is this the same thing that happened in chapter 2?
インターネット上の会話とかを収集するソフトウェアらしいんだけど、何でも未来予測ができるらしいんだ。
ほう。
The commoners have already started to pick up on the webbot project. People are mysterious. Each individual one is so stupid. But sometimes they show a spark of brilliance in groups. Is that the effect of synchronicity? Then that synchronicity should lead them to the other predictions. It should make them realize that the prophet is among them. The time of the world's destruction. It should make them recognize the person who must return the world to the sky before its destruction.
ねえね
なんかバカタクジがこっち見てるよ。
え、やだ、ほんと。
気持ち悪い。
They're slandering me in their hearts, even if they aren't saying it out loud. I can see into people's minds. Even if they try to look away, it's too late.
低俗な者どもめ。そうやって僕をバカにしてればいいさ。僕に救われない者たちは全て地獄に落ちるのだからな。
なんかバカタク笑ってるよ。
This music is so happy, and yet what's going on is it's so not happy. This contrast, man, holy fucking shit. I cannot help myself but laugh at this. I really enjoy chapter 3. To some people, you might not enjoy this because there's a lot of repetition. There's a lot of boring moments, but I actually do enjoy seeing Takuji fall into madness. The only thing I felt was a bit too long was the part with Riruru. That's about it.
うっそ、気持ち悪い。
行こう。
うん。
The foolish women disappeared. They must have been scared of me. That's the reason why they avoid me. They would try to deny it, of course, but that is the truth. My existence is far too holy for them to behold. My existence is too brilliant for their mortal eyes. Just like humans can't look directly at the sun, they can't look directly at me.
君は
Oh shit.
そうですね。くん。
そうか。君か。
He's nothing more than another person programmed to test me. He's been sent to train my mind by inflicting pain upon me. I suppose I should be grateful to him.
結城智実くん。
なんかタクジお前。
あれ、ゆうきくんどうしたの？
タクジ。
ゆうきくん？
Wait, what's going on?
なんでバカタクの分際でそんなにウキウキしてるんだお前。
ウキウキそう見えるのかい？
なんだその口の利き方は。
口の利き方が悪かったのなら謝るよ。ごめん。
謝る？何言ってるんだ。 ちゃんとした謝り方があるじゃねえか。
ちゃんとした謝り方。
慰謝料だ。この前足りなかった分も含めて20万円持ってこい。
This guy's stupid.
慰謝料ね。それでいつまでだい？
なんだよ、今回は期限はいらないのか？
When do you want it by? Okay.
そうだね。別にあってもなくてもといった感じかな。
何それ、金の当てでもあんのか？
まあそうかもね。それでさ、なんで20万円なの？
なんだと？
どうせならそこにいる沼田くんと西村くんと君に20万円ずつがいいんじゃないのかい？
何？
え、マジで金くれるんすか？
宝くじでも当たったんすか？
そうかもしれない。
本当？マジでいいの？黙れ！
今のはなしだ。
What?
でも今確かに。
誰もそんなことは言ってない。
でも宝くじ当たったんだよね。
だとしても、てめえら消えろ。俺が独り占めする。
Okay, Tomo-san, you're getting kinda creepy.
何度も言わない。消えろ。託児の金は全部俺のものだ。
Yuki glare at them fiercely. Their faces instantly turn pure white.
すごいね。
あ
あれほど人を恐怖させ屈服させる力を持つ結城くんは本当にすごいね。
てめえ。
It seemed like he was about to jump on me at that very instant. I quietly said,
話がしたいんだろ？ここじゃない方がいい。
なんだと？
屋上でも行こうか。
What the fuck is going on? I'm so confused, dude. A blue vein popped out of on his forehead, emphasizing the anger on his pale face. It looked like he was about to attack me here and now rather than wait until later. But other people would get in the way here, and besides...
はい、間宮拓司君。僕はさ、今日はとても傷つきました。あんなに教育してきた君がいきなり反抗的な態度を取ったからです。ここは屋上です。しかもたった今授業が始まりました。ここには誰もいません。誰も助けに来ません。君が死んだとしても誰も気がつきません。
He talked as if he was just playing around, but I could see the blood rushing to his head. He must have been preparing himself for the catharsis he thought he was about to go through. What a roundabout man.
拓司君、何か言いたいことあるかい？どうせアニメでも見て勘違いしちゃったんだよね。そんで今だんだん冷静になって現状を理解し始めている。
Yuki punched me in the face. He was just as quick as I had expected. Blood flew from my nostrils.
その痛み思い出したか？てめえなんざ所詮なんだよ。所詮そんなもんなんだよ。お前は一生誰か強い者にいじめられ続けて生きていくんだ。お前に逃げ場はない。逃げ場は死ぬこと。そしてほら泣けよ。いつもみたいに泣けよ。
Oh my god, I guess this is Takuji's everyday This is Takuji's wonderful everyday, isn't it? So chapter 2 really was Takuji's wonderful everyday, I think. I don't know though.
痛いな。
タクジ。
痛いな。また鼻血が出ちゃったよ。君に昔鼻の骨を折られて以来、鼻血が出やすくなってるんだよ。君も白山のようになりたいのかい？殴った分だけむごたらしい死を用意してあげるから。
何を言い出すかと思えば、なんだタクジ。てめえのその強気さは、どっかのオカルト雑誌で読んだ呪いの方法が白山に的中したからか？なんだそりゃ、お前本当にバカだな。俺がそんなことでいちいちビビるとでも思ってるのか？
呪い？あれは呪いではないよ。あれは必然。
はあ？なんだそりゃ。
彼が死に、高島さんが死に、そして君が僕を痛めつける。それは全て母によってプログラムされたことなんだよ。
What an insane guy.
は？何？お前何言ってるんだ？
The rage written large on his face changed into a smile. Something funny?
ママがお前のママが白山を殺して高島を殺してで、俺に頼んでお前をいじめてるとか言いたいのか？
君に何を言ってもわからないだろう。でもね、これだけは言えるんだよ。
何？
君の役目は終わった。
俺の役目が終わった？
そうだよ。終わったんだ。
Yuki froze for a moment when he heard those words. Not just his movement, but his face, and probably his mind too.
どういうことだお前。
僕の精神を鍛錬するために存在していた君は、その役目を今日でついえるんだよ。
は？何それ？お前の精神鍛錬？お前バカだろ！どんだけ終わってるんだよ、お前の頭の中は。
That's exactly my response to Yuki, like, not Yuki, to Takuji's transformation. My god.
前からぶっ壊れてたとは思っていたが、そこまで狂っていたとはな。何を言い出すと思えば。さてと、今日は今までにないぐらいやりますよ。
Yuki, I can see your armpits.
ボコボコにぶん殴った後に鼓膜に鉛筆を突き刺して殴ってやるよ。痛いなんてもんじゃねえぜ、多分。もう今すぐ自殺したくなるぐらいお前を痛めつけてやるよ。さてと。
At first, even Yuki himself probably didn't know what happened. He put all his weight into the punch, but I was waiting for it. I wonder if he had actually been trained in martial arts. I threw him to the ground in such a way that he shouldn't have been able to catch himself, but he twisted and avoided the worst of the impact. Well, I wouldn't say avoided. Instead of hitting his head, he dislocated his shoulder.
Oh.
Impressive. Even after taking that hit, he used the momentum to get right back on his feet, so that he could prepare himself for the next blow.
すごいね、君。
He probably hadn't noticed. He hadn't realized that the person he was facing was stronger than any other person in the world. I've attained the knowledge and experience of all of humanity, and all of life. All knowledge, wisdom, experience, and skill. Of course, that includes the kind of hand-to-hand fighting that he specialized in. All of humanity, from the weakest human to the greatest martial artists, all of their experience and skill has been distilled in my body. A single person like Yuki Tomusane could never hope to match me. Or so I thought, but...
勝負は一瞬につくと思ったけど、君は本当に強いんだね。
なんだと？
だって、僕は世界で最も強い人間なんだよ。
なんだそりゃ。
今の僕は歴史上存在したどんな達人よりも強い。そういうことなんだよ。
どんな妄想だ、お前。本当に気が狂ったのか？
Yuki glared at me. I didn't feel the same pressure as before.
じゃ、僕から。
What's this? I punched him, but for some reason it was my leg that hurt. I managed to catch myself before I crashed into the ground. But still, he must have hit me pretty hard since my vision was blurry.
バカが少しぐらい古武術を使えるようになった程度で何を達人ぶってやがる。10万年早えんだよ。
これは。
Apparently, he turned his entire body to dodge my attack and then hit me with a back fist. I can't believe he would stand before the strongest man in the world and, rather than flinch, attack.
来いよ。お前がどの程度か教えてやるからよ。
Why did this suddenly turn into a shonen manga? Pain, or rather, fatigue. The fatigue is greater than the pain. I'm just tired.
なんて男だ。この僕がここまで。
What the fuck is going on? Last night, I had obtained all knowledge and skill. There's no doubt about that. I had none of the knowledge I do now, including the martial arts I just used. Until yesterday, I couldn't have beaten Yuki, or even if I ganged up on him with several other people. I even got beaten up by Numata, Shiroyama, Nishimura, and Inuma. I couldn't stop them from bullying me. I was useless and powerless, and then I was reborn as the savior. That's when I obtained everything, including these martial arts. And yet...
腕の骨を抜かれてなきゃ、てめえなんかにやられねえよ。
Why is he smiling? I kicked the fallen Yuki in the face as he laid on the ground. My shoes were stained with blood. His expression didn't change as he spit out a bloody tooth. This man...
何が最強だ。妄想もいい加減にすることだな。そんな蹴りじゃ、俺は殺せねえよ。
He had fallen, slumped against the fence. He wasn't fazed at all, even after being subjected to this level of violence. What the hell is he...
マミヤ、覚えておけよ。ここで俺を殺さないと、次に俺はお前を確実に殺す。俺と貴様が向き合うというのは、そういうことなんだ。マミヤ拓司！
Yuki shouted. Blood flew from his lips. He roared. Why is he still...
Yuki.
This is definitely strange. This man was prepared by my mother so that I could be reborn as a savior. My mother set it up so he would drive me to the depths of despair. So then, he should have no value anymore. And yet he neither bows to my glory nor runs in fear. Now that I've become the savior, those should be the only two options left for him. And yet, even after he's been reduced to this, he still resists me. Why?
てめえの妄想ごっこは終わるんだよ。
妄想ごっこ。
そうだ。お前の妄想の世界。いや、お前の世界そのものが終わるんだよ。
僕の世界そのもの。
So everything that happened was because it's his everyday, wonderful everyday, right? Like I said before. I guess Yuki came into his world. Okay, so let me think about this. In the second chapter, Mamiya Takuji went into Minakami Yuki's world, right? In the first chapter, Takashima Zakuro went into Minakami Yuki's world? I actually don't know. So far, that seems to be what's going on, right? In the second chapter, for sure, Mamiya Takuji, it's either Mamiya Takuji that went into Yuki's world or it was the other way around. But this time, for sure, Yuki, this Yuki right here with the W, is going into Takuji's world and he's being made to do what he doesn't want to do, I guess. And I guess because he has a control of his own, or he has a mind of his own, that he doesn't want to submit to this guy. I don't know.
So da.
This bastard. He knows that the world is about to be destroyed? Is that why he still defies me? Why does he know that? My breathing is slowed and calmed. The pain was clouding my thoughts, but as the fatigue faded away, my thoughts started to organize themselves. That's it. I have my calm, my wisdom, and my knowledge. Think about the man in front of me. Shiroyama's death, Takashima-san's death, and then Yuki Tomosane. It's all connected. Through my mother's will. It's all part of her design. So then, what about him? I have obtained the greatest power in this world. So why is he as strong as me? Why has he been given this much power? Repeat. So then, what about him? I have obtained the greatest power in this world. So why is he as strong as me? Why has he been given this much power? Okay. Yuki, not Yuki. Takuji, you're going crazy again. Because there's no answer? But I have an answer to my... okay. Okay.
なるほど。わかったぞ。
何がだ。
まだまだ僕の救世主としての修行は終わったわけではないというわけか。
なんだそりゃ。
君がそれほど強いのは、そういうことなんだね。
はあ。だから、どういうことなんだ。
君はいつでも僕に戦いを挑んでくるといいだろう。その度に僕は、君を地に伏せさせるだろう。そしていつの日にか、僕は君の体だけではなく、この僕の存在の前に。
この、電波野郎。
そうやって吠えているがいいさ。いつでもかかってくるといい。
Notice that he called Takuji Denpa. Denpa is what I said before when Takuji was spouting those bullshit about radios and stuff, the transmission and stuff. That's what Denpa is. That's the type of archetype it is.
君の存在は、僕が真の救世主に至るための布石にしか過ぎない。あるいは、君との闘争こそが、試金石となるのかもしれない。そのため、母親が君にそんな桁違いの力を与えたのであろ
う。お前の母親が？こいつ、どこまで狂ってやがる。
まあ、今日はよく休んだらいいさ。さすがにその怪我じゃ、再戦というわけにはいかないだろうからね。
This is pretty crazy, to be honest.
さっき見たんだけど、確かに今噂になってるね。
リンク貼ってたでしょ、他のサイトに。
うん、ウェブボットプロジェクトについて書かれてた。
俺が説明した通りだっただろ。
あれって本当なのかな。
何が？
そのウェブボットプロジェクトが世界の破滅を今月の20日だって言ってるの。
リンク見たんだろ。確かにそういうデータを示してるって書いてあったじゃん。
Yeah, this is also the
そ
same.
うだけど、私怖いんだけど。
I instantly healed my wounds with the power of the savior. What kind of bullshit is that? In the classroom, there were even more people talking about the world's destruction. July 20th, 2012. Takashima Zakura's prediction. Shiroyama's death. All the prophecies from all the corners of the world match up. The words of those prophecies echoed throughout the world, as if the world's destruction were upon this very day. But still, this is just the beginning. The vulgar peasantry are far from comprehending what it truly means. Far.
さあ、
ん？何？じゃん。
そんなあなたは。
That woman is. That woman, she's Minakami Yuki, a girl from the same class as me. But still, what is she doing? Is she looking for something? It looks like she's asking about something. She's talking to Yokoyama Kiyoshi. Well, who cares about him? Average looks, average grades, not anyone I cared about. What the fuck? That's the same thing that Yuki said when he was talking to Yokoyama Kiyoshi. But still, that Minakami Yuki, for some reason, she grabs my attention. Minakami Yuki. They say she's so strong that even Yuki avoids her. She's also a genius who placed near the top in the country on the trial examination. Though I heard her grades have been awful lately. Before, she was so different from me that I would never even approach her, but now I've been reborn as the savior. Now I'm surprisingly similar to her. We're similar. As elevated existences, we have much in common. Yuki, at the apex of human achievement, is very close to me, since I still haven't completed my transformation into the savior. Now I can understand that. Minakami Yuki, there's something else about her. I can't shake that thought.
珍しいですね。水上さんが俺なんかに話しかけてくれるなんて。
本当はあんたなんかと話したくないんだけどね。まあ聞きたいことがあるから仕方なしに。
水上さんが俺に聞きたいこと？うは、光栄っすね。
さっき言ってたウェブボットプロジェクト。そんなもんが世の中のことを予言しているサイトがあるって本当？
あるっすよ。
それってさ、ウェブを自動的に巡回して様々な情報を収集し、それをデータベースに蓄積して検索などを行うための仕掛けのウェブボットのこと？ならさ、そんなもんは単に自動的に HTTP を発行してどこかの HTML 文章を取得したら適当なキーワードを検索してデータベースに保存した後、その文章の中のアンカータグを抽出してそのアンカータグの指す HTML 文章をまた取得していくだけのことでしょ？
いやー、よくわからないけど、
簡単に言えば検索エンジンのロボットのことでしょ？ウェブボットってことはさ、その予言をしているウェブボットプロジェクトって何なの？そんなもんがネットのどこにあるの？
いやーさ、俺も詳しくはわからないですけど、学校の裏掲示板で話題になってるらしいですよ。
裏掲示板？
この学校の裏掲示板あるの知ってますよね？
いや、そんな詳しくはないけど、まあ噂程度には。つうか、あんたその掲示板見たことある？
ああ、もちろんありますよ。
ならその掲示板とやらのアドレスをもらえるかしら？
いいですけど、登録しないと中見れないですよ。さらに紹介者がいないと登録すらできないし。
When did Takuji give his prediction, I wonder? I thought we were supposed to be already doing the prediction today. Is it not today?
登録？匿名掲示板なのに？
ああ、そうじゃないと裏掲示板の意味がないじゃないですか。
そういうもんなんだ。
ああ、そう。
まあいいや。とりあえずそのアドレスちょうだい。それと紹介者とやらになってよ。
Okay, I'm gonna mute them so until something new comes up, okay? Because I'm really so focused on the story that I just want to get new information rather than the same stuff, just from a different perspective. Like, this is not because I hate Yuki or anything, don't worry. I'm just skimming through this because this is an event we already did. Okay. I probably shouldn't turn this on yet because there's probably more scenes, but I will read this. She really is investigating the incident, or rather, something hidden behind the incident. She's investigating my mother's great plan for this world. I don't know what reason she has. Anyway, that woman is trying to investigate the underground message board. What is she investigating? And how is she planning to do it? That's something worth paying attention to. Maybe I should keep an eye on her. Okay, maybe I should. Turn this back on. There we go. Oh, these girls again. She stopped. It looks like she's talking to someone, but that's those two creepy flickering shadows. Only one thing comes to mind when I see shadows like that. The Wakatsuki sisters. Actually, Minami Yuki is friends with the Wakatsuki sisters. Apparently, they're childhood friends, and they walk to school together sometimes. The Wakatsuki sisters. They're definitely not good people. And those two have read my mind a couple times before. As the savior, I can't allow them to do that anymore. Still, it's strange that they even have that power at all. Normal humans can't do anything like that. Why are there so many people with special powers in the school? Yuki Tomusane, who has as much strength as me. Minami Yuki, who has as much knowledge as me. The Wakatsuki sisters, who can read minds. Takashima Zakuro, who predicted the world's destruction before her death. And me, the person who will save the world from destruction. This can't be a coincidence. All of it must be some sort of a greater design. No, that doesn't sound right. Something different is responsible for them. Something evil. I don't know why, but they're somehow unpleasant to be around, and that's why he killed her. I see. It's not just their ability to read minds. I feel something evil within them. I don't have any proof, but that's how it feels. Even Yuki, who bullied me for so long, isn't nearly as unpleasant as they are. And of course, neither is Takashima-san. It bothers me. Why would something evil try to get close to Minakami Yuki, the girl who has so much knowledge? The Wakatsuki sisters. I have to find out what you two truly are. This is so stupid, man. Oh my god, it's been 5 hours. Holy shit. I might as well make 3 episodes and do like 6 hours. Oh my god. Guess if a video is uploaded late, you guys know what's going on. After that, Minakami Yuki made small talk with an underclassman. That was Yokoyama Kiyoshi's little sister. I think her name was Yasuko. Well, she's not important. After that, she went to Takashima Zakuro's empty classroom and investigated her seat. She's a day late, but that's still a good idea. Yesterday, I too investigated that desk. She must be pretty interested in finding out the truth behind the incident. But still, she has a detective kit. That makes me feel a little nostalgic. When I was little, my mother bought me a detective kit like that. Occasionally, my mother would be kind to me and buy me things like that. But I was too young, so I didn't know what I was supposed to do with it. She must have wanted me to grow into a smart child like Minakami Yuki. Alright, I know what she's capable of. All she's doing is playing detective. She looked promising, but I guess I expected too much of her. I probably don't need to follow her anymore. I guess I can just leave her alone now, but...
彼女の反応を伺っても面白いかもしれないな。
I've come into contact with Yuki quite a few times, but I've hardly ever talked to her. What? Wait. I think that's supposed to be the one Yuki, the one Yuki. She's probably not a threat to me, but she might be another part of my mother's program. If she is, she might have some special power that even I can't overcome. That's right. It wouldn't be a bad decision to talk to her directly. Let's try it. I waited for her by the old pool. This is the entrance to my base. She should notice me here if she really does have any special powers. Yesterday, she was loitering around here. And you know what happened? Otonashi Ayana was the one that told Yuki about this pool, right? Maybe she's already realized my base is here. Though it's not the kind of thing someone could easily find. After all, it was the savior who created this base. A mere human like her couldn't find a base constructed by the Son of God so easily. I saw her come into view. I spoke to her.
どうしたんだい、みなかみさん。僕に用事かな。
ああ、少しね。用事があってきた。
Okay, this is the same thing, so I'm gonna mute them. Until something new happens, of course. She's clearly suspicious of me. I can read her expression and see into her mind. Before, I wasn't able to read people's minds. But now I can. As the savior, it's no more difficult to read a person's mind than it is to look at the contents of a clear glass bottle. Just by squinting a little, I can see everything they're thinking about. I can hear the words in her heart. Just as if she were speaking them. She's slower than I thought. I will compliment her on noticing my divinity, but I hate how she assumes it's caused by drugs. She doesn't know what's really going on. She doesn't understand. She looks suspicious. She must be thinking that I use a vaporizer since I don't smell like drugs. Her conclusion is completely incorrect though. Poor thing. She's not that smart at all. She's surprised. She's definitely shocked at having her mind read. I should tease her some more. I'll show her just how easy it is to read her mind. This is so weird, man, because at the start of this chapter, the Wakatsuki sisters were also reading our minds. Does that mean that they are... like, what are they? You know? So weird. She really did come looking for me. Well, since she came all the way out here to the old pool, that was obvious. For what reason? I see. I did my best to erase those letters, but vitally, my name was still there on the desk. And so she realized that Takashima-san and I had a relationship. Your powers of reasoning are quite impressive, Minakami-san. Perhaps I should apologize for insulting her intelligence earlier. Her face is great, and I love seeing her shocked expression. It's so funny. She put her hand on her head, and now that I think of it, before she came here, I had a light headache that made it feel like my ears were full of white noise. I see. So she really is connected to me in some way. I presented her with a metaphysical riddle. It must be too complicated for her to comprehend, like a Zen dialogue. But I'm talking to her about the dreams of life I saw last night. The dream of higher dimensions. One way is for the ant to observe a three-dimensional object passing through the plane of the second dimension. It would observe the object as a square flickering in place. That's right. In the same way a two-dimensional being can only imagine us as square shadows, we must imagine the higher dimensions as shadows. She was confused by the complicated explanation. I watched her closely. Her expression, the way her body moved, what she thought, all of it. Her head must still hurt. She frowned and brought her hand to her head again. That's to be expected, since she's standing before a divine existence like myself, and listening to my words of truth. It's amazing that she hasn't fainted. Oh? She's thinking of something different. She's so confused that she's going to resort to the most vulgar and primitive form of communication. The most vulgar and primitive form of communication. What we usually call violence. I'm so divine that she wants to use violence to subdue me. I see. What a banal choice. Just like the Roman Empire used violence when it crucified Jesus Christ, she wants to use violence to force me to submit. She's no better than Yuki. I'm disappointed. She's convinced now. She knows that I can see directly into her mind. Now she's truly shocked. Alright, I should turn back the voice on again. You?
こんにちは、音無さん。
真理は見つかった？
Man, I can't believe I've been recording for 5 hours, dude. I guess I'm so curious about what goes on in this game. Holy shit. I'd forgotten about her. She has a different aura than the rest. Different than Yuki or Minakami. A little different from the Wakatsuki sisters. Of course, completely different from Takashima-san. When I see her, I'm assaulted by a different feeling that's not quite the same kind of unpleasantness. What is it? What is this feeling? Am I afraid? No way. What am I thinking? Calm down. Just calm down. Why would I fear her? There's no reason for me to fear her. I'm the savior. I'm not a normal human. There's no reason for me to be afraid of her. That's right. I've gathered all the world's knowledge and wisdom. Of all the beings on Earth, I am the closest to the truth itself.
いえ、なかなか真理までの道は険しいです。
そう。真理って学校に落ちてるもの？
学校に限らずどこにでも。見る人間が見れば、どこにでも真理を見出せます。
そう。そうやってると。
そうやってると？
怖くないの？
What's with her? Her words were sharp like a blade and cold. But I...
怖い。何ですかそれ。まるで僕が何かを怖がっているみたいな言い方ですね。
I'm the savior. I'm not scared of someone like this. Calm down.
違うの？
違うも何も。怖いものなんてありませんよ。それよりもあなたこそ僕が怖くないのですか？
私が間宮君を？なんでそう思う？
こんな密閉空間に二人っきりですよ。誰も助けに来ません。何があっても。
助け？間宮君は助けが欲しいの？
どこまで話が通じないんですか、音無さんは。あなたの助けがですよ。
そうなんだ。そうやってると安心なんだ。
だからなんだよそれ。僕が何を怖がってるって言うんだ。僕に怖いものなんてない。だいたい何も分かってないのはお前だ。今はお前と僕はこんな絶対に人が来ない完全密で二人っきりだ。身の危険があるのはお前の方なんだぞ。
吠えるなら何かすればいい。 完全密室ならなおさら。
What a weird girl.
なんだと。
She still thinks I'm as powerless as I was before. She doesn't know I'm the strongest person in recorded history. That's why she isn't afraid of me. Then I should.
犯してみる？
What the fuck?
何？
それとも殺してみる？
I really should. No, it's a meaningless challenge. There's no need to do that.
人類史上最強の間宮君なら可能なんじゃないのかな。
Calm down. Don't let her affect you. Anyway, I shouldn't rise to her challenge.
いい加減そういう安い挑発もやめませんか？
そう？面白いのに？
それより質問に答えてくれませんか？
間宮君が怖いの？それを答えればいいの？
答えるも何も僕が恐ろしいものなどない。僕は全てを知り全てを見る世界を救うものなんだぞ。
世界を救う人なんだ。世界を救う。
This person, her eyes. I felt like I was being sucked into a bottomless pit when I stared into them. No, this feeling. I'd never felt this sensation before. Even Tomosan Yuki, even Minakami Yuki, didn't make me feel like this. Just what is this feeling?
おとなしい。綾菜。
はい。
お前は何者だ？
汗かいてる。
それは夏だから。
No, that's a lie. That was definitely just a bluff. I understand that. I've started to fear her. It's definitely cold sweat running down my cheek right now. The problem is, why? Why am I afraid of this woman?
間宮君が怖いもの。お母さんのこと？でも本当はそれはきっかけにしか過ぎない。間宮君は真実を見たいの。
はあ？何よ？お前程度の人間に真実など口にされたくない。僕は
真実を知る者。
そうだ。
そうやっていると楽なんだ。
So he's lying to himself. Yeah, I guess I know, Ayana.
何？
隠されたものを見ないようにするには一番いい方法。
どういうことだ？何が言いたい？
What is very important though, that Otonashi Ayana is important in both stories, both in chapter 2 and also chapter 3.
どういうこと？それはあなたが一番知っていること。
なんだと？
だってそれはあなたが隠したものだから。
僕が隠したもの？
Same thing. She said the same thing as what she said to Minakami Yuki.
そう。みんなからあなたが隠したもの。
みんな？
What happened in chapter 2 is that Kagami was dead for Yuki's case. I don't know what's gonna happen for Takuji.
そう。あなたのに、あとの。
なんだって？
ほら、そうやってすぐ隠す。
何よ？僕は何も隠していない。
お母さん、あなたのお母さんがいつも会いに行ってる。
Yeah, his mom is actually alive.
言葉を隠しているのはお前だろ。
So he's hiding the fact that his mom is alive?
本当に面白い。面白すぎる。人間って面白い。人間はなぜいろいろなものを隠そうとするんだろう。知っているはずなのに知らないように振る舞い、 そしていつか本当にそれを忘れる。忘れたにもかかわらずそれに興味を抱くくせに。
お前は一体。
人は死を隠した。この世界は死を隠した。
死を隠した。
そう、世界から人々は死を追放した。
Banish death from the world.
にもかかわらずせっかく隠したものを人は暴こうとする。なんでせっかく遠くに隠した死。
She's saying the exact same thing.
一生懸命隠したはずなのにまた掘り返そうとしている。間宮君もせっかく隠したものをまた掘り返そうとしている。
何よ。
Quiet voice, lucid eyes. She seemed to know, seemed to see everything. She gave me goosebumps. But
ここより先の世界、
先の世界。
そこに立つのは君じゃない。
なんだと。
ここは境界ではなく、あくまでも境界線。
境界線？
だから気がつかないふりをすればいい。気がつかない素振りでやり過ごせばいい。なのになぜ隠したものを掘り起こそうとするの？なぜ気がつかないふりができないの？
僕が隠しただと？僕が気がつかないふりをしているだと？何なんだお前は！何を僕が隠したって言うんだ！
ほら
見る？
ほら空を見て。
空だと？ここは地下深く埋められた貯水タンク。なんで空が？ここは貯水タンクで。それで
あれが間宮君が探していた真理。
なんだあれ？
対の空。
なんだって？
人は面白い。境界線に立つと人の姿が見える。だから私はこの遊びがやめられない。
is Ayana supposed to be a representation of us in the game or something? That's kind of scary. Like, I don't know though. Like, I'm it's kind of scary to think about.
お前普通の人間じゃないな。
私が何に見える？
お前は？
だって私魔法少女リルルよ。
Okay, Takuji, calm down. Calm down. Okay, this is Riruru's voice again.
ここは
起きた？タクジ君。
リルルちゃん。
正波動のチューニングは完璧だね。
正波動？
2人を結ぶホットラインだよ。タクジ君が私と話がしたいって思うとすぐにリルルは召喚されるんだよ。
そうなんだ。それで
何か話したいことがあったの？どうしたの？
なんでもない。
It was kind of hard to talk to Riruru-chan about Otonashi-san. Or rather, I didn't want to talk about her.
そうだ。今日対の空を見たよ。
知ってるよ。だって私魔法少女リルルよ。
そうだね。リルルちゃんは何でも知ってるはずだよね。
どう？今日一日は凡人の何十億年に匹敵する真理を得た？
まあ 存在の至りにまでは到達しなかったけど、でもまだ今日は終わってないよ。
そうだね。
I wonder why she doesn't say anything about Otonashi-san. She should know I talked to her. Why?
リルルちゃん。
わかったよ。わかったわかった。ちゃんと説明してあげるから。
何が？
音無し綾菜のことでしょ？
I kind of want to hear and don't want to hear at the same time. Why am I afraid of her? Why am I afraid?
彼女が怖いの？それはね。
それは？
彼女、人間じゃないから。
人間じゃない。なら何者なの？
わかりやすく言えばなんだろう。あれはね、私の檻。
Huh?
檻？
What's a dregs?
沈殿物みたいなもの。
沈殿物？
そうなの。あれはね、なんかいらないものが溜まってできたゴミみたいなものなんだよ。
Ew.
そんなもんだと思ってればいいよ。なんでもないから。気にしないで。別に無害だし。そうなの？怖くなんかないから。そうなんだ。
Why is our voice changing?
そうだよ。当たり前でしょ。そうかもしれないけど、なんか少し不安で。
Who are we? What the fuck is going
だから
on?
このリルルちゃんを信じてってば。そうだね。リルルちゃんがそう言うなら信じるよ。
Who am I?
ありがとうタクジ君。大好きだよ。そんなこと言われると恥ずかしいな。
I feel like I've heard this voice before.
なんで？ひどいな。そういう意味じゃなくて、本当にありがとう、リルルちゃん。
Who are you?
これからも私の言うことをよく信じてね。当然だよ。リルルちゃんの言うことを信じてれば安心だよ。だよね。だよね、タクジ君。ほら、安心安心。
安心安心。
Oh. I really was convinced of it just now. It almost felt like I was forcibly convinced, actually. What's going on?
ただ、人間じゃないから、人間であるタクジ君は本能的に恐怖するの。でも、何もしないし、できないから、安心して。
わかった。ありがとう。
わかったよね。
Of course I do. If that's what Riruru-chan says. I'm not pressing anything. This game sure is weird like that sometimes. I understood perfectly. After that, I spotted Minakami-san outside my house. I lectured her on the dialectical staircase and the possibility of higher consciousness. Someone held a doll as someone watched this. Just watched me. In her hands and run all year long. What a pain. Hates me because I don't give her sexual satisfaction. Are that kind of animal. It's probably the same as Otonashi Ayana. In other words, my enemy. Maybe I should rape and kill both of them. Oh, he's talking about the Wakatsuki sisters. That's what the Riruru-chan that aired today told me. Anime is what's right. Hell no! Anime is a good thing. Maybe. Oh, okay. At long last, I think I'm gonna call it an episode right here, though. Holy shit. I played so much today. 5 hours and 28 minutes. This will definitely be cut into 3 episodes because this is such a long episode. I'm not gonna upload a full 5 hours, 30 minutes of this. But yeah, hope you enjoy this. I'm enjoying this game a lot. There are some issues I have with the different perspective on the same scenes. I kind of wish they don't do that, but I guess they have to. You know, I understand why they do it, but I don't really like it. Other than that, though, the story is so weird. I don't even know where it's trying to go. But that's what makes me keep getting curious. But yeah, I'm done with the episode. Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this one because I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I really did. But yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.